Hello everybody, today back in another video. Alright, my tennis fans around the world, these videos will be about a very sensitive topic, a topic that people have talked about for many years, especially for Roger Federer. And you know my tennis fans around the world, I'm here to give my truthful opinions. I'm here to say what I think, what are my analyses, and what I really believe is true or false. Alright. The topic of this video I want to talk about is who of Federer or Djokovic had easier time winning majors. Alright? Not throughout their careers, right? Because we know Federer had his time in the beginning of his career, especially from 2003 to 2007 or 8, call it what you want, those 5-6 years, those 4-5 years. And then, of course, it became harder for Federer after that, not because of age. I've talked about this before. You guys who say because of age, you can get out of here, all right? Because I don't want to hear a damn thing about that. We know why Federer stopped winning majors after 2008. Not stopped, he didn't stop completely, but he went down like a rocket in winning majors because of Nadal and Djokovic. All right, so Federer had this period in those 3-4 years between 2003 and 2007 when he won. I believe he won between 2003 to 2008. I believe he won 13 majors, something like that. And then of course Novak, he had his time towards the end of his career between 2020 to 2023, those 4 years where he won 8 Grand Slam titles. If you count the 2018 Kevin Anderson match as well, where he won Wimbledon 2018, Novak Djokovic, where he defeated Kevin Anderson in that Wimbledon final. I will not count Kevin Anderson here. I'm going to explain you why later. But if you guys want to count him as well, you be my guest, do it. I don't mind. Djokovic anyway won between 2020 and 2023 8 Grand Slam titles against 6 different players. Alright, let's talk about Federer first. Federer, he won a bunch of titles in the beginning of his career against players like Andy Roddick, Marat Safin, later Hewitt, Fernando Gonzalez, Marcus Baghdatis, Andrew Agassi, and Mark Philippoussis. There you have 7 players, alright? And some of you say it was more than 7 players between 2003 to 2008. Yeah, that's true. That's true actually. I will not count Nadal, Djokovic, and Murray because he won 4 Grand Slam titles against these players, against these 3 players between 2003 to 2008. He won 2 Grand Slam titles against Nadal, which was both of them at Wimbledon, 2006, 2007, both Wimbledon finals. And he won 1 against Djokovic in 2007 US Open, and he won 1 against Andy Murray in 2008 US Open. Alright, so these three opponents I will not count here, because if I count these 3 as well, then we have 10 opponents for Roger Federer. The reason I'm not counting these 3 is because, look, let's face it, Nadal, Djokovic, they were teenagers back then when Federer defeated these 3 players. At least Nadal and Djokovic was teenager. Murray back in 2008 was not a teenager. I believe Murray was 21 years old. But Nadal and Djokovic, they were teenagers when Federer defeated them at Wimbledon, Nadal 2 times and Djokovic 1 time at US Open. But they were still very good tennis players. And they are 20-time plus Grand Slam champions nowadays. They were not that at that time, but they are that now. So I cannot, you guys can count them as well, but I will not do it because they are one of the greatest tennis players of all time. Djokovic, of course, the greatest tennis player of all time. Nadal, the second greatest tennis player of all time, according to me, at least. Some of you have Federer as the second greatest tennis player of all time. I don't mind if some of you guys have him. I have Nadal on my second list of the greatest tennis player of all time. But I will not count Nadal, Djokovic, and Murray. And Murray, of course, we know that Murray, yeah, he won 3 Grand Slam titles, but we all know that Murray, if he would have lived in another era, if he would have played tennis in another era, he, for God's sakes, would have won much more Grand Slam titles than 3. The only reason why he didn't win more than 3 is because he played in the most brutal era of all time, with Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, where he played 11 Grand Slam finals in total, Andy Murray, and 10 of them they came against Djokovic and Federer. He played only 1 Grand Slam final against another dude who was not called Federer or Djokovic, and that was against Milos Raonic, where he dismantled him in 3 straight sets in that Wimbledon final 2016. All right, Federer won. If you take out 2 Wimbledon titles against Nadal, 1 against Djokovic, US Open, there were 3, and then 1 against Andy Murray, US Open 2008, then we have 4. So he won 13 Grand Slam titles between 2003 and 2008, take out 4, he won 9. So he won 9 Grand Slam titles, Roger Federer, against 7 different players, those players I mentioned in the beginning of the video. If you look at Djokovic, 2020 to 2023, he won 8 Grand Slam titles against 6 different players. I'm talking about only finals now, all right? I'm not mentioning the semi-final and quarterfinals opponents. Who did Djokovic win his 8 Grand Slam titles between 2020 and 2023? Against Kyrgios, Berrettini, Casper Ruud, Medvedev, Tsitsipas, Dominic Thiem. These are the six opponents in the Grand Slam finals where Djokovic defeated them and won 8 Grand Slam titles between 2020 and 2023. I've thought about this and I've come to a conclusion. Who of these players are stronger? Is the Novak's opponents that Novak defeated, these 6 opponents, and won 8 Grand Slam titles, or is the 7 opponents that Federer defeated when he won 9 Grand Slam titles between 2003 and 2008. I'm not, like I said, I'm not counting Nadal, Djokovic, and Murray here, of the reason I said in the video. But I'm counting the other 7s, which are Roddick, Safin, Hewitt, Gonzalez, Baghdatis, Agassi, and Philippoussis. These are the 7 players that Federer defeated. And when I've thought about this, with this analysis, when I've thought about this and done my conclusion, who of these players are better? These 7 opponents that Federer defeated, or these 6 opponents that Djokovic defeated? These 7 opponents where Federer won 9 Grand Slam titles against these 7 opponents, or Djokovic's opponents where Djokovic won 8 Grand Slam titles against these 6 opponents. I come with the conclusion that the players that Federer defeated actually are better. I really believe so. If you think about it, look how many Grand Slam titles these 7 players won together. Safin won 2. Roddick won 1, 3. And Hewitt won 2, 5. So these 7 opponents together, now in this case it is only 3 of them, the other 4 didn't win any majors, but I'm counting all the 7. They together won 5 Grand Slam titles. Alright? Safin 2, Roddick 1, Hewitt 2. We have 5 Grand Slam titles that they won together. Alright. The other 4 didn't win any. No, Agassi won, because I think I mentioned Agassi. Roddick, Safin, Hewitt, Philippoussis, Baghdatis, Agassi, Roddick, Safin, Hewitt, Baghdatis, Philippoussis, Agassi, and Gonzalez. Yeah. There we have 7. All right, so should we count Agassi because he was on a decline here? Federer defeated him at the US Open 2005 because Agassi has 8 Grand Slam titles to his name. I don't know. If you guys want to count him, do it. I will not count him because he was on a decline. Federer should not lose against him. When I believe when Federer defeated Agassi in that US Open final 2005, Agassi was 35 years old. So he was on a decline. Right? That was Agassi's last Grand Slam final he played in his career. He was towards his end of his career. He didn't have many years left. He just, I think 1 year later, he retired, if I'm not mistaken. So I will not count Agassi here, all right? To be fair here, I will not count Agassi. But if you guys want to count him, you can do it. I don't mind. But the other 3, Safin, Roddick, and Hewitt, they won 5 Grand Slam titles together. Safin 2, Hewitt 2, and Roddick 1, 5. And if you look Grand Slam finals, how many Grand Slam finals they have together? And the reason I mention these 3 players is because these 3 is the best players that Federer faced outside. Because Agassi is better than these 3, of course, because he has 8 majors. But I'm analyzing this because Agassi was old. He was on a decline. He had 1 foot outside to retirement. You understand? And these 3 had together 12 Grand Slam finals, if I'm not mistaken. Roddick had 5 Grand Slam finals. Hewitt had 4 Grand Slam finals. There you have 9. And Safin had 3 Grand Slam finals. There you have 12 Grand Slam finals together. If you look at the players that Djokovic defeated, as I'm going to mention the best players that Djokovic defeated, according to me, in these Grand Slam finals. Of course, Medvedev is the best with 6 Grand Slam finals and lost 5 of them and won only 1. And then Thiem is the second best, according to me, where he has 4 Grand Slam finals and lost 3 of them and won only 1. And then Tsitsipas, where he has 2 Grand Slam finals. So Medvedev, Thiem, Tsitsipas, they have together 12 Grand Slam finals. All right, these 3. As many as Safin, Hewitt, and Roddick. Yeah, we know that Casper Ruud has 3 Grand Slam finals, but I will be honest about Casper Ruud, even though Casper Ruud has 1 more Grand Slam final than Tsitsipas, I don't believe Casper Ruud is a better tennis player than Tsitsipas. The reason why Casper Ruud has made to those 3 Grand Slam finals has been, of course, he has been playing good, no question about that, but he has also had extremely easy draws. Let's be honest, all right? Because when he has played those Grand Slam finals, he has been without any chance. He has played 3 Grand Slam finals and he has won only 1 set and lost 8. All right? Yeah, of course, he has played 2 of them against 2 of the greatest tennis players of all time, Djokovic and Nadal. Nevertheless, he has lost 8 sets and won only 1 out of these. No, not 8 sets. He has lost 9 sets. Out of 9 sets that he has lost, he has won only 1 set of these 9 sets. Anyway, he has just won 1 set out of these 3 Grand Slam finals that he has played. Casper Ruud. So I don't find Casper Ruud a better tennis player than Tsitsipas. Nevertheless, when I think about all this, who has defeated better opponents? Djokovic or Federer? It is actually Federer. I find Roddick as a better player than Medvedev. All right, I believe Roddick has won 32 titles in his career, compared with Medvedev, who has won 20, and Medvedev who has not won a title for 1.5 years now. Last time Medvedev won a title was at Rome last year. I found Hewitt a better tennis player than Dominic Thiem. At least I do it. Hewitt has won more Grand Slam titles than Dominic Thiem. Hewitt has won more titles than Dominic Thiem. Hewitt has won 30 titles in his career, and Hewitt has been world number one, etc., etc., and played. They have played as many Grand Slam finals, 4 each. Hewitt played 4 Grand Slam finals, and Thiem also played 4 Grand Slam finals, but Hewitt has at least won 2 of his Grand Slam finals and lost 2. I find Hewitt as a better tennis player than Dominic Thiem. All right, and then we have Marat Safin. Marat Safin didn't win many titles in his career. I believe he won only 15. He was not the most consistent tennis player, but when he was on fire, which was not many times, but when he rarely was, he was scary to face with that big hitting, both forehand and backhand, and big huge serve. But he didn't take his tennis always very seriously. So, but when he was on fire and when he was firing all his cylinders, he was extremely uncomfortable to face and scared to face, and he could defeat everybody in the world, basically. And he has also defeated, he has defeated one of the greatest tennis players of all time in a Grand Slam final, which is Pete Sampras. So back in 2000, I believe in US Open 2000, if I'm not mistaken. So, and also he defeated Federer in one of the best tennis matches that I have ever seen, in that Australian Open semi-final 2005, where Marat Safin actually saved 1 match point in that 4th set, and then won that battle in 5 sets in the end. And then of course defeated Hewitt later on in that Australian Open final 2005 in 4 sets. So Marat Safin was not the most consistent tennis player, but I find him better player than Tsitsipas. I really do. For me, Marat Safin is a better. He won only 15 titles in his career. Marat Safin didn't win more than that. Tsitsipas will win more than 15 titles when his career is over, I believe. I'm very confident about that. Nevertheless, Tsitsipas is not a better player than Marat Safin. Alright, now we come to my argument why I don't believe Tsitsipas, Thiem, and Medvedev are better players than Roddick, Hewitt, and Safin. Because these 3, the other 4 on Federer's era, I will not mention. They have not won any majors, and they have not played. Agassi, of course, has won majors. The other three I'm talking about is Gonzalez, Philippoussis, and Baghdatis. All right, they are 1 Grand Slam. They have only played 1 Grand Slam final in their careers each. And because this video is becoming long, and Djokovic has also some players that have also played 1 Grand Slam final once in their lives, which is Berrettini and Kyrgios. I will not talk about much about this, because let's face it, Berrettini and Kyrgios, they will never play a Grand Slam final again, let alone winning one. All right, they are 1 Grand Slam finals hit wonders, not more than so. All right. What makes me believe, and I truly believe this is true, why these 3 players, Hewitt, Safin, and Roddick, are better players than Medvedev, Thiem, and Tsitsipas. Why they are better? I can excuse Roddick why he lost so many finals against Federer, 4. I can excuse Safin why he lost 1 Grand Slam final against Federer, 1 he lost. I can excuse Hewitt why he also lost 1 Grand Slam final against Federer. Together, these 3 has lost 6 Grand Slam finals against Federer. 4 Roddick, 1 Safin, 1 Hewitt. That makes 6. I can excuse them more. Why I don't excuse these 3 players as much as I excuse Federer's opponents? Medvedev has lost 2 Grand Slam finals against Roddick. Against Djokovic. Tsitsipas has lost 2 Grand Slam finals against Djokovic. That makes it to 4. And Thiem has lost 1 Grand Slam final against Djokovic. That makes it to 5. They are much younger than Djokovic. Djokovic is not in the same generation as Medvedev, Tsitsipas, and Thiem. They are 9 to 12 years younger than Djokovic. Something like that. That is not the case with Roddick, Safin and Hewitt. They were in the same age as Federer. Not exactly the same age, but you are getting my point. They were 1-2 years that was separating Safin, Roddick and Hewitt with Federer in the age gap. Tsitsipas, Medvedev, Dominic Thiem, they were not in the same age as Djokovic. Despite that, these three players lost 5 Grand Slam finals against Novak Djokovic. 5, not 1, 2, 3, 5. 2 Medvedev, 2 Tsitsipas, 1 Thiem. 5. That is one argument. The second argument is Djokovic was bloody over 30 years old when he gave these three players 5 Grand Slam defeats in finals. Over 30 years old. He was not in his absolute peak of his career. I don't believe so. Djokovic for me was, he was extremely good, extremely unbelievable good, even in his 30s, because he, for God's sakes, won 12 Grand Slam titles. Novak Djokovic in his 30s, he won 12, as many as he won in his 20s. But he still was not in his peak of his career. A big reason why Djokovic won 12 Grand Slam titles in his 30s is because of these players that are born in the 90s are extremely weak. Medvedev, Tsitsipas, and Dominic Thiem. And not to forget Berrettini and Kyrgios there, and Casper Ruud. Those three players that are also born in the 90s. So, these players that are born in the 90s, they are not a gold generation. They are, according to me, a lost generation. Kevin Anderson, I'm not counting here because he's not born in the 90s. He's born in the 80s. So I'm not talking much about him. I'm focusing to talk about the players that are born in the 90s. Maybe the players that are born in the 90s, maybe it is the biggest lost generation that we have seen in tennis. Maybe. So, and another argument that these players that are born in the 90s, that they are not super strong, is Alcaraz and Sinner. What is Alcaraz and Sinner doing to them? Alcaraz is killing Tsitsipas. Alcaraz is killing Medvedev. Alcaraz is killing Casper Ruud. You hear my point? The same Sinner. Yes, Sinner has been a little later bloomer than Alcaraz because Sinner is 2 years older than Alcaraz. So Medvedev was taking good care of Sinner in the beginning of the rivalry. But the last couple of 6-7 matches, what is Sinner doing to Medvedev? He is taking him down to Chinatown, my tennis fans all in the world. So Sinner as well is proving to us that these players that are born in the 90s are not super strong. And these players that are born in the 90s are probably the biggest lost generation that we have seen in tennis. And that is also a reason why Djokovic has won these many majors in his 30s. Yeah, Djokovic is super strong, super consistent, the greatest tennis player of all time. I'm not arguing about that. This is not the point of the video. The point of the video is who had more difficult opponents when they win many majors in their career. Was it Federer or was it Djokovic? Federer in the beginning of his career, Djokovic towards the end of his career. It is actually Federer. It is actually Federer. I excuse Safin, Hewitt and Roddick much more than I excuse Medvedev, Tsitsipas and Dominic Thiem. Because Safin, Roddick and Hewitt, they were in the same age as Federer. Thiem, Medvedev and Tsitsipas, they are not the same age as Djokovic. Thiem, Tsitsipas and Medvedev, they should have done better job against Djokovic because they are 9 to 12 years younger than Djokovic. Something like that. So, and because if somebody can say, but no, these players that are born in the 90s, they are not that weak like you are saying. No, they are. Tsitsipas and Sinner and Alcaraz are damn proving that as well. But with all this said, I'm still much more impressed with Djokovic's achievement to win 12 majors in his 30s than Federer's achievement to win 9 majors against these 7 players. Let's count out Alcaraz because he was in decline against these 6 players. Why? Because Federer was in his absolute peak. And Federer was playing against his peers. You're getting what I'm saying, my point? Federer was playing against his peers, and Federer... So Federer's achievement is also really good, to be quite honest. It is also very impressive, but Federer was young. And when you're young, tennis is not an old man sport, it is a young man sport. So I'm still more impressed with Novak's achievement than what I am with Federer's achievement. That is the one point I want to say. Another point that I want to say is Djokovic has had his share of tough opponents. When Federer was playing, when Nadal was playing, when Federer was young and strong, when Nadal was young and strong. And for God's sake, Djokovic has proven what he got. He has won 14 Grand Slam titles when he has defeated Federer and Nadal on the way to win a Grand Slam title. 14. And one Grand Slam title he has won when he has defeated both of them in a Grand Slam tournament, which was the US Open 2011. Nadal has also proven himself. Nadal has won 15 Grand Slam titles when he has defeated both Federer and Djokovic towards a Grand Slam title. And he has bloody won as many as 3 Grand Slam titles where he's defeated both Federer and Djokovic, both of them to win a Grand Slam title. 3 times he has done it. But all of 3 times he has done it at French Open, 2006, 2007, 2008. Federer has the weakest stat here, where he has won only 7 Grand Slam titles, where he has defeated one of Nadal or Djokovic on the way, only 7. And he has never defeated both of them to win a Grand Slam title in the same Grand Slam tournament. He was close at Wimbledon 2019. He was 1 point away of doing that, but we all know how that ended. So Djokovic, of course, is a better player than Federer. He is the more complete player than Federer. But Djokovic, because I've heard the argument, Federer is a weak era Grand Slam champion, blah, 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 etc., etc. I've heard that so many years. I don't think that Federer is a weak era Grand Slam champion. I don't think Djokovic is a weak era Grand Slam champion as well. But Djokovic doesn't hear as much that he has won many majors in a weak era. He really has not heard that as much. Federer, I've heard it a lot of times throughout the years. I've not heard it as many times about Djokovic, but Djokovic has actually won a bunch of majors in a very, I don't want to call it a weak era, but I will call it a very, very soft era. A softer era than Federer's era. It really is true. It really is true. Of the argument I just mentioned in this video. Of course, Novak has had his share of tough opponents, and I will lift my hat for that. So I will not call Novak Djokovic lucky or something like that. So he has proven himself. Absolutely. Nadal as well has proven himself, like I just demonstrated in this video. But to attack Federer like many are doing, especially Djokovic fans and Nadal fans, of course, has done it. Oh, he's only a weak Grand Slam champion. He has defeated so weak opponents. These opponents that Federer has defeated in his 20s, they were so weak. They were not any good tennis players. They were not fantastic tennis players. I'll be honest with that. I'm always honest with my opinions. Roddick, Hewitt, Safin, they were not fantastic tennis players, but they were actually better than Medvedev, Thiem, and Tsitsipas. They were better. That is the truth. They were better. And like I said a couple of days ago when I did a video about Djokovic, the reason why Djokovic has not won any majors in 2024 is not only because of the age. And I'm going to give you a big argument for this, because I will wrap this video out because it has been very, very long. You know that Djokovic was only a couple of points away of winning Wimbledon? Only a couple of points away. And I'm going to tell you how. And you will think, how was he only a couple of points away? He was completely destroyed in that Wimbledon final against Alcaraz. If Alcaraz would have lost against Tiafoe in the 3rd round match at Wimbledon earlier this year, where Tiafoe had a 2-1 lead, was a 2-1 up in the lead, and was actually played that 4th set pretty close. If he would somehow won that match, Tiafoe. I think that Tiafoe, I have not checked it out 100%, but I think Tiafoe played Alcaraz pretty close in the 4th set. If he somehow would have won and defeated Alcaraz in that Wimbledon 3rd round match, Tiafoe, who do you think would have won Wimbledon? Not Tiafoe! Not Medvedev, not Sinner. Djokovic would have won the Wimbledon, for God's sakes. My point is that the only reason not the only reason, a big reason why Djokovic has not won any majors in 2024 is not because only of age. It's not. It is also a huge reason is because of Sinner and because of Alcaraz. And if you guys think something else, then you're delusional. Alright guys, I hope you did the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and see you next time. Peace.